Padmasana, lotus pose, or full lotus pose. Now, there is a sort of litmus test that I use to check on whether my students are able to get into this pose. And it has a lot to do with not forcing the knee to do anything that it's not ready to do. And so, what I'll do is I'll remove the foot that rests underneath the top knee and see if I have the range of motion in my thigh to bring the knee all the way down to the ground. Now, if I do have that range of motion in the leg, then I know that I can typically bring the other leg on top to be placed into full lotus. So just like we did into half lotus, you'll close off the joint, externally rotate the shin and the thigh as you pull the foot into its position, and then lower the knees down to the ground. And then you can rearrange the pad or the cushion that you're sitting on to help keep the bottom elevated. And this posture will allow you to sit really erect for longer durations of time. It's considered that the posture blocks some of the flow of energy down to the legs, which allows you to more adequately bring the energy upwards into the higher energy centers. This pose becomes accessible to students at different points in time. If I recall, I think it took me about 6 years to be able to put my legs in this position, where I've taught other students who were able to discover it the first time that they tried it. But like all postures, it opens up with practice. So as you continue to sit on the ground for longer durations of time, and as you work through Sukhasana and Ardha Padmasana, you'll probably discover that the legs open up, the hips open up to a degree that allows this to be more accessible to you. Another consideration for this pose and half lotus pose, um, in addition to keeping the knees safe, is consideration for the ankles also. Try to make sure that the majority of the movement for this posture comes from the thigh bone as opposed to unnecessarily sickling, bending, or stretching the outer ankles.